Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Grow Your Own Fun. Today we're installing a rear disc brake kit on a Honda Ruckus or just any GY6 engine, I guess. There was a lot of grinding and cutting that had to be done to manipulate the case to allow for the disc brake to be installed. And so in this video, we're going to show you how we did that and the steps that it took and all the different things that we had to do to make it fit properly. I want to say thank you for everybody that's watching this video and that's continued to support the channel. All my new subscribers, all my longtime subscribers, please do me a favor, click that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell so you get notifications, and just that's an awesome way to show me that you're supporting the channel and that you like the stuff that we're doing. Okay, so you just saw me remove the brake cable assembly where the drum brakes used to be attached and the drum pads used to mount. So I cut that bottom mounting point off, and now we're test fitting the hub for the new disc brakes to see how it fits and what it's going to rub up against and what we need to remove. So unfortunately, our kit did not come with the bolts to mount the disc rotor to the disc hub. We called up Dorbyworks and they were kind enough to get those out in the mail to us. So we had them in just a few days. Okay, so now we're going to unbag the mounting bracket for the brake caliper. So there's two bolts. One is going to go through the case itself. We have to drill a hole for it. And the other one is going to go near the top of the case where the old brake assembly went through. So we're going to reuse one of the holes in the case where the old drum brakes were attached, and then we're going to have to mark a spot and drill a hole for the bottom mounting location. I recommend using a center punch and a hammer. You're going to tap the punch lightly, and that's going to leave a mark on the case. You could use a Sharpie if you don't have a center punch, but I like the center punch because it leaves an indentation so that when you go to start drilling, it goes through and you have a little divot to sit your tip of your drill bit in. As you can see, I started with my Dremel tool with a drill bit that was small from the left side, started my pilot hole, and now I'm going back with the larger hand drill and incrementing up in size on my drill bits using a cutting fluid. I was using Seafoam. You can use WD-40 or any type of oil that you have, brake fluid even. But you want to use the fluid to help for clean cuts and without binding. And you also want to have a nice clean hole when you're done in the exact right spot without having to make more holes or mess up the case. So just take your time and get that right. Now we want to test fit our bolts, make sure everything fits nice and snug. We're going to put the caliper bracket on there. So the one bolt at the top goes from the right-hand side, and then the bottom bolt comes in from the left-hand side. Okay, now that we've got the bolts in and we've got those positioned, we're going to go back with our brake hub and brake rotor so that we can sort of see where it's still rubbing. We can tell from that initial test that it's still rubbing a little bit at the top where the bolt goes through on the right-hand side, and it's also still rubbing just a little bit on the bottom where we cut off the original drum brake mounting place for the pads. So we're going to go back with our flap disc. We're testing. We just take a little bit off at a time, test, a little bit at a time, test. That way you're not removing more material than you need. You don't want to make anything weak. And you really just want to remove the amount of material that's needed. So we're just taking our time, using the flap disc, fitting, then grinding, fitting, then grinding. It's a slower process, but I prefer this method. That way you don't accidentally remove way more than you need and everything fits like it should. So just be patient. You've waited a long time to build this, so just, do it right the first time. Okay, so a few days have passed now and our bolts have arrived. So that's what the bolts should look like for the rear rotor to get mounted to the rear hub. We're going to use our Loctite and go ahead and install those bolts. You definitely want to use Loctite on these bolts and pretty much everything else on this type of build. There's a lot of vibration that comes from this engine, and stuff will wiggle loose if you don't use Loctite. So even if you have it nice and tight by hand, but you don't have the Loctite, stuff's going to come loose. So just go ahead and put the Loctite on. I recommend using blue for pretty much every fastener that you're using on this. Everything with threads. Again, those T-handled Allen wrenches are super handy and make the installation a lot easier. Okay, now that we have our rotor securely mounted to our hub, we're going to go ahead and do another test fit just to make sure that we don't need to take off any more materials. Spin it around a few times, make sure nothing's binding or hitting. Everything seems to be moving really smooth. Okay, now to go ahead and mount the caliper bracket. So you can see I have the top bolt in there. I'm going to pop it out, and then you can see where I concaved it with a step bit so that that tapered bolt will fit nice and flat and flush. All right, we want to put our washers on and then use our lock nuts, and then you can see how we secure that bottom part of the caliper bracket to the engine case. We're going to go back and tighten up everything, but we still have another step and some more material to cut off of the case. So I definitely recommend when you're cutting on this to clean off everything really well before fitting your hub back on there. You can use an air compressor or some kind of compressed air or a brush, but make sure that you got everything nice and clean when you're doing all those test fits and don't leave any chips. It's important to make sure all those splines are nice and clean and there's no chips left over. That way you don't have any binding. I definitely think it's important to have a clean work area so that you can find everything you need and you're not getting anything scratched up. So now that we've got everything attached, we're going to go for another test fit, make sure everything spins nice and easily. You definitely don't want any rubbing and you don't want any scraping or anything like that. You want to make sure everything moves super smooth and you don't have any resistance. So now that we've got all that checked off, we're going to go ahead and try to mount the caliper. This is when we find out that there's more material to be removed in the case, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. We go and try to put the bolts through the bracket and into the caliper to secure everything, and all of a sudden we're noticing that everything doesn't quite line up. So I'm like, what went wrong? What step did we miss? Unfortunately, these don't come with a lot of instructions or information, so unless you've watched one of these videos or you've done this before, figuring this out the first time is a little difficult because there's really no instructions that come with these kits. I did have to email Ying a few times over at Dorbyworks to ask him what was going on and why things didn't fit, and he was able to provide me with answers via email and was able to answer most of those questions. Some of the stuff I just had to figure out on my own, but I'm pretty sure he does now have an instruction set that he can email you. I probably asked enough questions that he decided to come up with a set of instructions. So here you can see it doesn't quite line up. The top hole doesn't line up if you have the bottom one in, and if you put the top one in, the bottom one doesn't line up. So now we have to remove some more material. So I'm going to take and measure and mark off the area of the case that needs removal. So we're basically going to take this big chunk out right here, and this is going to allow the caliper to sit the rest of the way in. Good old angle grinder, cut this material out. Again, little chunks at a time, Don't want to take more than you need, don't want to weaken the case, and don't want to mess anything up. So this is a tedious process, but just take your time. If you have a better way to do this, make sure to drop me a comment, but I just cut it out and then used my pliers and snapped it off. There we go, just taking those chunks out. All right, and once we've got the chunks out, I'm going to go back with the Dremel tool. I think I called this a rotozip earlier, but it's a Dremel. So go back with our deburring tool on the rotozip and just clean up all those edges so that everything's nice and smooth and there's no sharp edges. And lo and behold, once you remove that extra bit of material, the bolts both go in. You can get the top and the bottom in place, and everything mounts up like it's supposed to. There's definitely a lot of modification that you have to do to your engine case to get these rear disc brakes to fit, but with the additional power of the 150cc and higher engines that people put on the Honda Ruckus, it's nice to have the confidence of good stopping power. So in the long run, this should be well worth it, and I'm going to be happy that I did it.